Chaos on the trains and snow on the roads, anger and frustration as parts of Britain grind to a halt. Thousands of rail passengers at King's Cross had their transport plans ruined by engineering delays.
But what's really annoying is that there's just no communication at all.
I'm very sorry that a couple of jobs have gone badly wrong today.
And yet more misery as snow leaves hundreds of other travellers stranded on the roads and at airports, also tonight. A final farewell. Thousands of New York police officers salute one of their own shot dead in the line of duty. And the teenage British golf star preparing to take on America and the rest of the world.
This is ITV News with Julie Etchingham.
Good evening. Network Rail issued an abject apology to thousands of rail passengers across Britain tonight for a day of disruption that stranded many people far away from their loved ones. The chaos caused by Network Rail's failure to finish engineering works at King's Cross on time is now being investigated by the railway watchdog. And as our political correspondent Romilly Weeks reports, the government has demanded an explanation.
Anyone with a dramatic medical condition, please come with me.
Dramatic medical conditions here.
Finsbury Park station this morning, and only those with the greatest need were being allowed onto trains. Thousands of others left to wait in the bitter cold with little or no information.
I've no idea, mate. I've just got here, so I've just got to try and find my contacts.
The closure of King's Cross and then Paddington meant most of those trying to travel north were funnelled into this small suburban station.
People just want to go home, people want to see their families, it's cold, it's winter, it's Christmas, it's quite embarrassing that our national rail system is this much of a shambles.
What time is your train supposed to be?
Now, I think it's on the platform, but what hope is there?
What's really annoying is that there's just no communication at all. And we can't even go on East Midland trains, so there's no other way for us to get up north. We just have to wait here, and it's just terrible.
What's it been like for you waiting?
Boring and cold.
And does anybody seem to be getting on trains?
No.
This was supposed to be the contingency plan. Passengers are being diverted here from King's Cross and now Paddington. But Finsbury Park is a much, much smaller station. The queues, 20 or 30 deep, are stretching out in both directions. The gates are currently shut, and this station is not big enough to cope. This evening, the rail regulator announced an inquiry into why holiday engineering works weren't finished on time, closing one of the country's busiest stations for the entire day.
I'm very sorry that a couple of jobs have gone badly wrong today. It is part of a major expansion programme that we've got underway. The rest of the sites are going well. I have run 10,000 trains today, but it's gone badly wrong in a couple of places, for which Network Rail can only apologise.
Travellers hardly fared better at Paddington. The board's here telling the same story of travel plans ruined and trips cancelled. The Transport Secretary has demanded an explanation, saying the situation on the railways this weekend has been totally unacceptable. I'll be asking Network Rail to set out what went wrong and how they can learn lessons. After hours of waiting, some passengers made it onto their trains this evening, only to find them overcrowded and further delayed.
They have to get on with me.
As tempers flared, others left to try again tomorrow. Holiday travel wasn't supposed to be like this.
What are the prospects for passengers tomorrow?
Well, they should be better than today, although that's hardly saying much. Network Rail is promising that Paddington should be running properly from 11:30 tonight, whilst King's Cross here should be reopened in time for tomorrow morning. But there is still a heavy programme of engineering work scheduled, so what you might consider a normal service is not expected until Monday, the 5th of January. Before then, Network Rail have plenty of questions to answer about why these engineering works overran and whether passengers were kept properly informed. And from all those that we spoke to today, the answer to that is a rather despairing no.
Romilly, thank you very much indeed. Well, snow, especially in the north of England, caused another kind of travel chaos today. Hundreds of vehicles were stranded when a sudden blizzard made roads impassable, while more than 100,000 homes were left without power. And as Sasha Williams reports now from Sheffield, freezing conditions tonight are expected to bring more disruption.
It had been predicted, but still the snow caught many unaware. Cue long tailbacks and dangerous driving conditions.
We've been driving around today and it's
Seen a
been
few
quite bad,
cars,
hasn't
haven't
it?
we? Yeah.
Cars stranded here and there, so it's getting icier, definitely, yeah.
It was really slippery and all the cars went really slow, like snail pace.
It's the first time I've been out in snow, so they were a bit nerve-wracking.
Some who braved the icy roads in the early hours were forced to abandon their cars and their coaches. This one had been travelling from Sheffield to London when it became stuck in the snow. Its passengers had to take refuge in a local church. Now back home, some of those passengers say their angry more wasn't done to help them overnight.
I feel really let down by the company. Many of us are frequent travellers of National Express. Obviously we've never had a problem before, but partly that is because we've never had to have a problem before. And the first experience where I've had to deal with the customer relations department, it's been an absolute letdown.
In a statement, National Express said, "We can confirm that a Sheffield to London service was affected by the adverse weather conditions. We apologise to the passengers whose journeys have been so severely disrupted." Also disrupted flights from Leeds Bradford and Liverpool John Lennon airports. Both terminals closed while their runways were cleared. In some parts of the north of England, as much as 10 centimetres of snow fell in just a few hours. And the cold weather warning isn't over yet. The Met Office are predicting a 90% chance of more severe weather between now and New Year's Eve.
The worst of the snow has cleared away to the continent, but we are going to still see some wintry showers over northern parts today. But once those die out, as we're going to tonight, and it's going to be largely fine to end the year with a lot of sunshine, but some very cold temperatures.
While not everyone has been put off by that news, emergency services are still on high alert. We may not have had a white Christmas, but we're almost certainly in for a freezing New Year. Sasha Williams, ITV News.
And thousands more people, many of them British, are said to be stranded in the French Alps by a sudden heavy snowfall tonight. Some 15,000 vehicles are stuck in traffic jams along roads leading to and from popular ski resorts. Around 2,000 people, mainly Britons, are reportedly unable to get out of Chambéry Airport. In Malaysia, more than 160,000 people have had to be evacuated from their homes because of widespread flooding. 5 people are known to have died in the floods, the worst in the country's history. And it's being reported tonight that internet hackers have leaked personal details, including credit card numbers of thousands of users of PlayStation, Xbox and online stores. Now, they came from towns and cities across the United States to honour one of their own. Tens of thousands of police officers filled a New York church and the surrounding streets for the funeral of Rafael Ramos today. He was one of 2 officers shot dead by a gunman seeking revenge for the killing of unarmed black men by police. Sajal Kara reports.
Draped with the flag of the police department he was proud to belong to, Rafael Ramos was carried from the church into the crowded street outside, where thousands of police officers from across America and Canada had come to pay their respects to a colleague shot dead in New York a week ago. Leaving behind a wife and 2 teenage sons, he was said to be a family man who'd spent a lifetime trying to become a police officer, only to be gunned down just 2 years into the job. Earlier at his funeral, attended by many dignitaries, Vice President Joe Biden said the nation stood with his family and that of his partner, who was also killed that day.
An assassin's bullet targeted 2 officers. It targeted this city, and it touched the soul of the entire nation.
Rafael Ramos and his colleague Wenjian Liu were sat in their patrol car when they were ambushed and shot at point-blank range. The alleged gunman, Ishmael Brinsley, who went on to kill himself, had posted anti-police messages on the internet.
I can't breathe!
Police treatment of black suspects in America has come under intense scrutiny in recent months, sparking nationwide protests. And drawing criticism too from New York's mayor, Bill de Blasio.
It meant so much to him.
And when he spoke at today's funeral, Those divisions were exposed once again as some officers turned their backs. But many at the service today called for unity. Setal Karia, ITV News.
Football and Fernando Torres' 4-year Chelsea career is finally over after the club announced he's to join AC Milan next month. The Spaniard never seemed to live up to his £50 million price tag at the London club, failing to replicate his once prolific scoring record with Liverpool. And finally, she's been called the new face of British golf. Teenager Charlie Hull is the youngest ever player to top the money table in the Ladies European Tour Order of Merit in just her second year. But as our sports correspondent Ian Payne reports, despite her prodigious talent and sky-high ambition, it's not the rewards that drive her on, just a love of the game.
At just 18 years of age, Charlie Hull has a textbook golf swing. Mind you, it hasn't changed much since she was 10.
Here's Charlie Hull.
She's just had an incredible couple of years. Earlier this month, just a year after winning Rookie or Newcomer of the Year, she became the youngest ever winner of the Senior European Order of Merit, the best female golfer on the continent. And last year she was the youngest member of the European team at the Solheim Cup, women's golf's equivalent of the Ryder Cup, as the team won in America for the very first time. Next up, she plans to conquer the United States and the world.
My ambition, I want to be the world's best golfer. Always aim high, I suppose, and hopefully I can get there.
She's won around £200,000 in prize money alone last year, but money's not a priority. What's the most expensive thing you've ever bought for yourself?
Probably just a couple of handbags.
Yeah?
Yeah, just a couple of Mulberries and...
How much would they be?
Louis Vuitton. I don't know really. I just bought them. that was quite bad. I didn't really think about how much. I was like, I'm definitely getting that. But
so you're not thinking of buying cars or a house or anything?
No, because I'm sponsored by BMW, so I don't need to buy a car.
And a word for her dad, who tirelessly accompanies her around the world, and perhaps it's his laid-back, genial manner which has helped.
Yeah, that's Charlie. She's just basically a kid playing golf because she loves it.
And how proud are you of all this? What does it make you feel like?
Yeah, terrific. Yeah, it makes me feel great because I can see she's happy, and that's the most important thing. I've got a happy kid doing something she loves doing.
Remember the name, Charlie Hull, destination USA and beyond. Ian Payne, ITV News.
We certainly will, and that's it from me and the whole weekend team here. Good night.
Outlook. Worcester Bosch sponsors ITV National Weather.
Hello and a very good evening to you. Well, some of us have seen a few wintry showers in the east, but it will become mostly dry as we head overnight, but there will be a widespread frost and some icy stretches to watch out for too. So on Sunday, we've got a big area of high pressure dominating, and that means for many of us it is going to be much quieter across the UK. Some mist and fog around to begin with, and it will be frosty, some icy stretches, but lovely winter sunshine will be developing, and it looks like it will stay mostly dry. Now, the winds will be lighter than today, but temperatures still struggling, especially in the north, when you're looking at highs there of 2 degrees up to 6 degrees in the south. And a quick look ahead to next week. Well, it is remaining mostly dry, but it is going to be cold with some overnight frost in places. Bye-bye.
A warm outlook. Worcester Bosch sponsors ITV National Weather.